Hi group, this is Kira. We're going over question 6 on the quiz access for week 9. So this was a pretty tricky problem. It took me a really long time to figure it out, but we're gonna start it off here with, so we need to find the ending inventory and the cost of goods sold for parts A through D. So we're going to be doing that for the specific identification, the weighted average, first in, first out, and last in, first out. So I'm going to go over here to my Excel spreadsheet so you can see up here. Okay, so first off, for cost of goods sold for the specified identification. So the first step here is we're going to be decreasing each of the last 3 purchases by the amount of inventory that was decreased for each of those. So we know that the ending inventory is 540 units, with 180 being subtracted from each of those last 3 purchases individually. So what I've done over here, you can kind of see in these 3 is I've done the equation for each of these minus the 180. So the 1060, 940, and 460 are these last 3 purchase amounts in units. And then from there, we're going to be multiplying each of those numbers by the price that they were sold at. So in this column over here, you can see that I've multiplied the corresponding units number by the price that's up here in this table to get the cost for each of those sale amounts. So you're going to do that for each of those last 3 sales, and then what I do after I calculate each of those 3 individually is I just do a sum in Excel, and I select all of those, and I get this number, so the total of those 3 sales, and then you want to make sure you go back and add the dollar amount for the beginning inventory and that first purchase, because those were also sold, included in that cost of goods sold number. So I'm going to take this, do that, and then we're going to add the 1456, and we're going to add the 3750, and we're going to get the 196.94 number, which you can see there. So we've got that one, that cost of goods sold there. And then to do the ending inventory, we're going to be doing the same thing that we just did, except we're going to do the inventory amounts times the cost or price for each of them. So I'm going to do that. Let's see, do that up here. So same thing. So we'll do the 180 for the first purchase, or I'm sorry, I guess I should do equals 180 times the 5.7, and then we'll do the 180 times 6. I am so bad at forgetting to do the equal sign. Okay, and then the 180 times 6.1. And then we're going to do a sum of those three inventory dollar amounts to get the ending inventory for the specified identification of $3,204. Moving on to the weighted average for the cost of goods sold, you start off by taking this goods available for sale number, or that dollar amount, the total sales there, divided by the total number of units down here. So I have actually done this already up here. I just did that 22,898 number divided by the 3,880 units, and that gives me the average weighted cost, if you will, of $5.9 on average. So what we're going to do is the 5.9, make sure I know what I'm talking about here. Okay, yes, so the next thing we're going to do after we find that weighted average cost is we're going to find the actual units sold. And I just did the units sold by subtracting the units left from the units available for sale here. So we do that 3,880 minus the 540 units remaining at the end, or the ending inventory. And that gives us the 3,340 units sold up here. So when I do that down here, we come up, we're just going to multiply the units sold number, once again, that we found up there by subtracting the ending inventory from the total units, and we're going to multiply that number by the average price number of 5.901, so on and so forth. And that gives us the cost of goods sold for the weighted average of 197.11.16. You can see here. And then we're going to do something along the same lines for the ending inventory. So we're going to multiply that same average cost that we did up here, 5.9, times the 540 ending inventory, and that's the average, the weighted average ending inventory of 3,186.835. So moving on to the first in, first out. So this cost of goods sold is going to start off with, let's see, find the right math here. So we're going to start off with the 640 number down here, the last sale units. So 640 minus the ending inventory of 540. And that gives us a number of 100 units remaining. And then we're going to multiply that number by this cost here, which is going to, whoops, I did not do that right. Multiply this times 6.1. There we go. So there we have the dollar amount, and then we're going to add that. So we're going to add this, and I'm just going to add them all one by one. So we're going to add that one from that last sale there to the total amounts of the first 4 sales. So we're going to add the 1456 and we're going to add the 3,750 and the 7,068 and the 6,720, and my thing isn't big enough, but we'll get a cost of goods sold for the first in, first out of $19,604. And then to find the ending inventory, we're going to do something kind of similar to the weighted average. We're just going to take that ending inventory number and multiply that by the price here of that sale, and that's going to give us a ending inventory for first in, first out of 3,294. And then finally we'll do the last in, first out, and this one is basically the opposite of the other one, so instead we're going to be working from this end down. And to do that, we're going to first get rid of this, get rid of this down here, and I didn't get rid of it all the way. Okay, so first we're going to be adding these two numbers together because we sold all of this one and part of this one for that first sale. So we're going to be adding the 600 and 280 together. And I forgot my equal sign again. And then from there, I'm going to just put some parentheses around that. And then we're going to subtract our ending inventory, the 540. And that's going to give us a 340 number. And then from there, we are going to multiply that by the price of that sale here, the 625. And that's going to give us the sale amount for that one of 2,125. And then we need to add in the rest of the sale amounts. So we're going to add that one with the 3,904 and the 6,720, the 7,068, and we're going to see where that gets us here. Okay, and remember we're not going to add in this beginning inventory because we took that into account on that first calculation that we did. So we'll have a final, a final cost of goods sold for last in, first out of 19,817. And then for our ending inventory, we're going to take that same 340 number. I just want to make sure. Okay. Okay. So we're going to take the 340 and we're going to multiply that by the 625, or I'm sorry, we're not going to do that.